Alright, hello guys. It's not going to be a good voice day because our microphone needs to be charged right now. It just ran out of charge while we were getting started. But Joe today is going to do push-ups and some abdomen work, and you're welcome to watch, join along. Remember, if you can't keep up, you just do what you can do, and you just start with what you can handle. And I will be talking throughout. I believe the topic that I'm going to talk about while we're watching Joe is going to be getting the mind stable, motivated, and constantly ready. So you about ready, son? All right, just do the reps you want to do and the sets you want to do. And he'll do the push-ups, and then he'll go into some ab work and take it through and make one complete set of it. So you're going to go ahead and do the ab work.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it.
All right. And this will work, and we don't take long pauses in between this when we're doing it this way. Of course, if he's just doing push-ups or just doing some abdomen work or whatever, core work, when you're doing one exercise, you need to take some more time in between what you're doing. You got to keep your mind focused. You got to be ready and be motivated. Constantly be motivated. And once you get in the mindset that you're doing something around the same time every day, if you keep that within the same hour I would say keep it to the exact set time. And Joe's hurting right now. Now he's going to take a little break, but we try to do things in bunches to that it will mimic a round of boxing. So I can see now Joe's not having a good core workout day. Yeah, generally we do core work 3 times a week, and he did some core work yesterday after he did the Tyson squats. So I think you're just going to stick with normal push-ups, right? All right. So he's not going to vary his push-ups in what we're going to show you right now, but he does push-ups every day, multiple times during the day. That's one thing that's a daily thing, along with the several other things that are a daily must around here. And they're not really a daily must with me, they're a daily must with him. But if you start working out, just try to get around the same time every day. You'll get yourself in a pattern where the motivation will just be there for you. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. We have plenty of bad days around here. Well, we don't have plenty, but they're occasional, and can be frequent, and they're frequent with everybody. Stay back over here, right? And sometimes he'll use that 4 kilo slam ball we got and hold it while he's doing these Russian twists, and he'll take them down and do full setups, just standard setups with that, extending his arms out above his head, and that's tremendously difficult. But you got to keep your head as straight and clear as possible, and the way to know that you're achieving that in a very grand way is when you're going through life's turmoil, but you're still doing the work. So we're going through a lot of things here, trying to get out of this country and get back home, and we just got a lot of problems we've been having, but Joe's been consistent in his work. I dare say we have got off of doing core work and haven't been doing it as much, so he's hurting tremendously in his midsection muscles before he even started this. So, but that's what you got to do. You got to fight through that pain, and you have to keep going. You have to push yourself. When he's on the normal, these sit-ups are nothing for him. I left him and a guy, they were laying on the floor there about, I'd say, maybe 5 yards, maybe 6 yards apart, and they'd come up with a setup, then throw the ball to the other guy, then he'd go down with a setup, then come up and throw it to the other guy. And I've told this story once or twice before, I believe. I told him, I said, keep going till the first one quits. And we had little Diego back then, a wonderful, wonderful young man. And I left and went out, and I said, just don't stop till the first one quits. And I came back about 40 minutes later, possibly 45 minutes later, and they're still going at it. I was like, nobody quit, huh? And I hung around in there 5 or 10 more minutes when I had returned and got them to, I had to make them stop. And that is the competitive side of being motivated. And neither one of them eventually would have outlasted the other one, and it would have been Joe, I believe, that would have outlasted the other guy, but it's possible not. It's possible the other guy. And that one guy has been a workout partner, boxing partner with Joe, and he's the only guy out of the countless guys Joe's worked with that Joe really shined some respect on that was close to his age. So that says a lot right there. Joe was like, he's coming up on this level, Dad, and I was like, you darn tootin' he is. But they moved away, and Joe knocked one of his teeth out, and that was kind of a problem. I had to pay for that, and then his mom kind of shied him away, but we got him a new tooth. But mamas don't really like having their kids having teeth that aren't real in their mouth at a young age. And I don't blame them. So it's all about the mind, and the mind can be deceptive in wicked ways, or the mind is over the matter. The mind can be deceptive in wicked ways. I was just talking to Joe about the Guyana tragedy, and most of you people probably won't be old enough to know this or have watched anything on it, but a preacher man, if you want to call him that, had a church in California, and he ended up moving about 1,000 of his followers down to Guyana, South America. It's a country that borders the northwestern portion of Venezuela. And Joe, take your time between your Russian twist and these other two. Between your Russian twist and these other two, just take your time. Give you a little bit of space between those two, between the twist and the other exercises. But it was called the Jonestown tragedy, is what we all referred to it as. They made a made-for-television movie on it back in '79 or '80, and this guy gets all these people down in South America, and we now know there was CIA involvement with it, and it was backed by that. This preacher was a leftist guy. He was friends with Willie Moscone, the former mayor of San Francisco, former recently retired Senator Dianne Feinstein, and Willie Brown, who was having an affair with Kamala Harris before Kamala Harris became a senator, and before she obviously became vice president. And these people are all wicked. They knew all this was going on. And probably the biggest name of people that politically that were involved with this nutcase, Jim Jones, was Rosalind Carter, who was Jimmy Carter's wife, President Carter's wife. And she was just enamored with this guy, and this guy was doing nothing but leftist, lunatic type stuff. He was a full-fledged communist. And anyway, earlier we were talking about how easily the mind can be fooled into deceptive ways, because it seems to me that from the mid and late 70s, when Jones was going strong, the people that were following him were just completely duped and would believe anything. And how that little thing grew in the San Francisco area, went down to South America, culminating with the deaths of almost 1,000 people, men, women, infant children, teenagers, you name it. You should go look that up. You can look up Jim Jones and there's a lot of misinformation out there about it, but the true factualness of it is that these people were leftist-leaning lunatics. And I was just talking to Joe earlier today about how it seems to me that from that point, me being old enough to have lived with all this stuff that's happened, it seems like from that point on, it's kind of like they figured out how to dumb down society. And some of those societal ills was with Jimmy Carter, as a matter of factly. He created FEMA, he created the Federal Department of Education. And when these things were developed and made into being, they've made things a lot worse, and especially with the federal government involved in education. From 79, or really from about, it took them a while to get established, probably from around 81 or 82 onward to present day, our education system has just went downhill every year. And it's not a good thing. These teacher unions things aren't good things. So, but as you can be conditioned and deceptively into bad things and bad stuff, you can condition the mind into good things and good stuff, because with motivation, with competition, with everything, because it's mind over matter. And you yourself, there's going to be no one out there that's going to boost you. You are going to have to condition your own brain and your own heart to strive forward. There's a lot of people out there that can tell us some good things and help give us a little nudge, but we're the ones that are going to have to individually boost ourselves to be grandly competitive. So Joe's taking how many sets you got? 3? Gonna do 4 or 5? Alright, so he's gonna do 4 or 5 of these, and then we're gonna have to move on to some other stuff that we don't really show. There's a lot of stuff we do I just don't like showing. I was brought up in boxing and things where you don't show what you're doing. You want to keep most of your cards close to your vest. I got up and walked off there and was still talking and wasn't thinking I didn't have a microphone. All right, Joe's gonna do 1 or 2 more. How many push-ups do you have?
90.
90. How many Russian twists do you have?
120.
120. All right, good job. And Joe's going to do a back workout with dumbbells after this, but this video is getting lengthy here, so I don't think we're going to show that on this video. But it's all mind over matter. The mind and the heart, when it's in sync, can tremendously push you or take you places you never thought were possible. And again, just do what you can, do what's comfortable for you. And most of the times when we do this, we separate the midsection work from the push-ups, and Joe does the different varieties of the push-ups. So and he is, I think it's Wednesday today, but he is having a hard go of it today, and it's this midsection stuff that's getting to him. He did a big core workout yesterday after he did the Tyson squats, and he overdid it tremendously. Just take your time, son. And Joe's gained a lot of weight recently. We've been bulking, so that's one of the reasons why we haven't been doing a lot of core work. And I should have had him doing the core work while he was bulking, and I didn't do it. And we slacked a little bit on the running that we do too. But we are going to get back into full swing probably probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Friday, and get back up to 3 miles 3 times a week. Take your time, son. We're at 21 minutes here. Are you done with this that you're going to do? You got them all? All right. When you're done with this, I'm going to cut it, but I want you to do one more set. All right. Good job, son. So just keep yourself motivated. You see, he's not having a good day with this core work, and you're going to have days that aren't good for you. And it's good, you know, it's good sometimes to not show the days where you feel like you're perfecting in something. If you're having a bad day on something, maybe you should show someone that. The creme de la creme, maybe you should be more careful with and hold that close to your vest. But we want you all to know much love to you. And I will finish this video like I finish all of them, in all our total imperfectness around here, and we got boatloads of imperfectness going on. Christ is our King up in here. Much love to everybody.